Soph.
I wanted to give you guys a feel of what it's like a day in the life of a designer. I think a lot of TV shows give this misrepresentation of interior design that everything kind of gets designed and installed and done in like a week, and that's just not the case in reality. A lot of our projects can take like 18 months to 2 years, and it's a long time, so we have to do these site visits for months and months on end, and you don't get to see the instant results, but the projects we're going to go and see today, they're all at different stages, so I'm looking forward to sharing that. We are on our way to our first site visit of the day. This project we're hanging some art in. We've got 3 pieces of art to hang, 1 in the master bedroom and 2 in the guest bedroom, so follow me. They look a bit like boobs, don't they? I think you need to go a bit higher, James, so that you're a bit further away, and then you need to come a little bit lower. A little bit less high, James, that's too high. Bit less, bit less, bit less. Bit less. Bit less. So normally when we're hanging art, we always want to try and make it at the eye level so that you're not looking up or down to see it. But with these pieces, you kind of have to judge it on a like case-by-case basis because they looked a bit weird side by side. So they look a lot nicer. And then also where you've got the switches on the wall, you don't want your art too close to those. So we decided to lift the one on the right so you get a bit more distance from it. So this piece is a good example. We hung the mirror on this wall so you get to reflect it twice because it's such a special piece. And again, this you would probably think is quite low, but we wanted it at eye level height so you can really appreciate all the beautiful texture. This one's by Fenella Rounds. There's just some maintenance going on, but this is another example of some textured art that we did. These are metal discs and just look so effective. I quite like the cluster of them. And then if you come with me in here, this is another piece we're going to hang today. We just commissioned by the same artist. This is Fenella Rounds, and this is going in the master bedroom to replace some other art that we had in there. And then here, this kind of art is so tricky to hang. Like we plan it on elevations, but there really is no substitute for just holding it in place and seeing how it feels. Like it needs to feel balanced. The other thing that we had to bear in mind with here is because it's got the banquet underneath, none of the pieces could come too low because otherwise it would hit the back of your head when you're sitting. This is the problem when I come back to a project, I can't stop zhuzhing. I just want to arrange everything. I've actually got a client that I finished their project in Cobham probably like 6 years ago, and I'm still friends with them, and every time I go to their house they just say to me, would you mind just putting all the accessories how you left them, because their cleaner keeps moving them and they like them arranged just so. So it's like one of those things I just do without thinking about. So that's quite unusual for us doing art on the diagonal, but I like how it kind of leads your eye down towards the table lamp. And like I said earlier, you've got a good amount of gap between the switches so you can appreciate the art. We're going to head to Chelsea now. We finished up here. So it's about a 20-minute drive. So the one good thing about lockdown is the traffic is a dream in London. Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Welcome to my career.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
It just feels so much bigger, doesn't it?
It does, it does.
And the joinery looks amazing. I love how we've done a gap between the shelves and the chimney breast as well.
It's such a good job.
This looks amazing, and I love the metal, like the hearth, the whole way along.
Yeah.
I feel like this is probably one of the most successful times we've done this,
I
actually.
agree. I think behind the telly as well, it's lovely, isn't it? So he's done like this boxing, and it's all polished past with the bronze trim, but it comes off.
That's so
You get
nice.
access in there.
I'll send him a message to say how impressed I am, because I'm genuinely like blown away by that.
Yeah. Wait till you see next door.
Just all the accessories as well, the styling looks so on point. And this, I mean, look at this, Ollie. This is how good we are. To the millimetre, this table just fits on the rug. And then that chair just fits on. Everything's just like perfect. I mean, if you've been with us for a year now, haven't you?
Yeah.
It was your anniversary the other day, it popped up. I mean, what a great anniversary, like you get to unveil this. And she's coordinating with her project as well. We added all this fabric panelling with the bronze trim and the grey oak, and then this is the whiskey room. Oh my God, this is so cool. I love the curtain. This looks so cool. It looks like it's just always meant to be there, doesn't it? Like this was a bedroom, we've turned it into a whiskey room, but it just feels like it was meant to be a whiskey room. Yeah. I mean, if you don't have a whiskey room in your life, what are you doing? The trim, they've done such a good job. And just like the window reveal as well, having the polished plaster and then the wood trim.
The pole manufacturer was saying as well, they've never done that before in that way.
Oh, it works so well. It looks so good, because otherwise you wouldn't see the pole. Yeah. So we had a site meeting, Ollie, when we were working out whether or not to put a window treatment. We weren't going to put a window treatment, and then we just thought every time we don't do a window treatment, it just doesn't feel finished. Yeah. But we didn't want to block the light, but it just layers it up, and that keeps it like out of the way of the window. Oh, and the other challenge was the doors open inwards as well, which is really tricky. That looks so nice. So they wanted little lock compartments for the whiskey that he's got. It's like a Japanese one. Yeah, this is Japanese. Is that, do you recognise that? Oh, I love this room, so nice. It just feels like, architecturally, everything that you'd expect from this apartment, isn't it? Because it's such a nice development, but before it was quite basic. Yeah. You guys have done such a good job. Love it, I absolutely love it. Yeah, oh, well done team, this is amazing. I really, really like it. And the chandeliers look lovely as well. Yeah. I think like everything just looks taller. I think because the joinery like takes your eye up. Yeah. And all the styling's so nice.
It's so much, I know the lights are dimmed, but it's so much brighter than it was.
Yeah, it was really dark, wasn't it?
Reflective walls, and it made such a difference.
So this is the last site visit of the day. This one's a building site, so we're just going to go and check on the progress. They've put some of the marble in. There's a lot of joinery that's going in, so we're going to go and see how it's all going. So this is the son's room. We've built all the joinery, and then they've got a lovely bathroom with some herringbone stone. How are you? We've got the daughter's room in here, lovely light space. And they were really lacking storage before, so we've done storage across the whole wall. Loads of drawers. And this is going to have a spray lacquer, and then it's going to have a panel of grass cloth wallpaper in the section where the handle goes. That'll look lovely.
You want to see all the way?
Oh, that looks so nice. This is a herringbone from Mandarin stone. Looks so nice. And then we did a quartz border. We had to really pick that carefully because it's a natural finish. It can come in quite different colours.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, the sample that I had was very different.
Really?
To then, or it actually looked very different on the website to the sample that I got. But actually this looks just like it does on the website, so it's worked out really well.
Okay.
So basically the apartment's divided into two bits. You've got the kids area, the staff, all the formal entertaining, the kitchen, and then we're going to go into the master suite, just through here. I love this detail here, how we've got the curved goalpost on either side of the vanity unit. This is my favourite marble, it's Fior di Bosco. I'm going to have his and hers vanity, and then behind that side we've got the shower. So it's all tucked out away, and I like that because I feel like you don't need lots of glass, which is such a nightmare to keep clean. And then we've got a different stone, the Namibian white, because this everywhere would be too much. So you've got a nice contrast between the white and the Fior di Bosco and that kind of taupey grey colour. And then the vanity unit, they'll have lots of storage. And then on this side, we've tucked the loo out of sight, which is a nice thing to do because you don't want to walk in and see the loo straight away. Just makes it a bit more functional. And the rounded corners. And then we've got a little niche that will have lighting in it for putting nice toiletries. We're now back at the studio. We finished all our site visits in London, and we've got a few things I need to do. I've got a couple of client calls, a supplier call, and a meeting with a very exciting brand that we're bringing out a collection with next year. But first of all, I need to replace this fabric, which we've just found out is discontinued. And I showed them this alternative, but they want something more plain because we have quite a lot of pattern going on. this is the kids' bedroom that we visited earlier on. One of the kids' bedrooms is the boys' bedroom. So we've got this fabric on the headboard, which is from my Andrew Martin collection, and that's going to have that leather border. And I really like doing quite a busy pattern on upholstery for kids' rooms. I think it just gives it so much character. And then we have a desk chair being upholstered. This is another one from our Andrew Martin collection. And then for the trim on the blind, I love layering up different patterns. And I think the more pattern you put in a room, the less busy it looks. It almost becomes like a plane. So I was going to put this Samuel & Sons Greek key trim with this fabric, which I loved. But now that we can't do that, the client's asked for something more simple. She feels like this is too busy, which is totally fine. So I'm going to pick a fabric from our library. We've got all our fabrics along here and the wall behind you.
What keeps you motivated?
I just love creating beautiful interiors. That's like really my only focal point. I just love the work. I'm obsessed with beautiful interiors. I love working with different people. And I think like that's on the project side. And then for the product side, I'm just constantly thinking, like with all the ranges that we have, we're like bringing out more and more products. Every time I think, oh, I wish we had this, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to make that happen. Or if I wish it was out there and I can't find it, probably there's a lot of other designers that wished it was out there, and certainly a lot of like retail customers that wished it was out there. And that just, I find that so exciting. I love like thinking of a product or an idea, developing it, and then bringing it out to market. And then if it's like really successful, I just love watching it like be successful and people loving it and people ordering it, and then like people share images of it in their homes or their projects. Like for me, that's just so exciting.
What's been your highlight of the day?
My highlight of the day, I would say seeing my team at the project in Chelsea. I love hanging out with my team. Like we have so much fun together, and just seeing that project completely unveiled. I think for them, you know, I haven't been there every day of the installation. They've spent 2 solid days installing it. And when you're the designer and you're on site, like it's our job to just see the problems. Whereas I can go in there with fresh eyes. I know that they're like dealing with any snagging or issues that they're facing on site, and I can just literally see it for what it is and appreciate how incredible the design is. Like I've seen that property before with rental furniture, and to get to see it, walk in and it's like completed, and tell my team what a great job they've done. Like that's an amazing moment. That doesn't happen every day. So like that might be like every 3 months we finish a project. So I love doing that.
What would you say to someone out there who's working really hard and maybe feeling a bit lost today and looking for a bit of inspiration?
I'd say you're not alone in that. Like every person has their like days where they're not feeling motivated. You know, it's not that inspiring sometimes looking at a computer screen. So I think a change of scene is good. If you're in a job already, like try and have a change of scene, go out, get some fresh air. Like I'm like alive and buzzing because I've been to site, and obviously we're really lucky we can do that. Not everyone can in their job. Just try and find something that does inspire you, and whatever you find inspiring, make sure you don't spend too long without doing that thing. So whether that's going for a walk or, I don't know, reading a magazine or a book, like try and find those things that will keep you inspired, because you need them. Oh, and I have another thing as well, which so when I'm feeling like I'm really struggling and everyone has self-doubt, like every creative like questions themselves sometimes. So when I'm in the middle of designing a project, and I would say to my team, it kind of explodes, like you've seen, like look at this mess here. This is me trying to find one fabric. Imagine what it's like when we're designing like a 15,000 square foot project. Like it's an explosion of stuff, and there's so many ideas, so many things, and then you have to bring it in and you have to get it all done, and you've got a deadline. And there's always like, even though you've got the brief from your client, there's always a moment of sort of anxiety before you present to them. Will they like it? Have I read them right? Like, is this what they want? And so when I'm feeling like that, this is what I consult. We call it the creative process. And you can, like, we have a joke in our team that we can kind of say to each other, I'm at stage 3 and I'm hoping to transition to stage 5 soon. But I think it's just a good reminder, you know, it's a good reminder to just tell yourself, like, if you're going through a tough time, you've been through it before and you'll get through it. And I think that's the most important thing to remember, is that you will get through it, and perseverance is key, definitely. And not everything is as polished or as perfect as it seems online. Like, you know, we're trying to show you a true reality of what it's like being an interior designer, what it's like in an interior design studio, but I'm still not going to show you like the bits where it's really, really bad. And you know, there's a lot of challenges being an interior designer. You've got a lot of pressure on you, and you know, you have to be able to cope with that.
How can we see more content like this and make sure we don't miss out?
Swipe up and subscribe.